Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching from. Today is Saturday, the weekly roundup. Like always, we round up what could get tujaya mawulire agagakwata ku Moroka agatukwatako ngaffe abantu abagali Moroka. Today is week 1, the end of week 1 of February 2025. Because week 1 started on 1st. Today is 8th. Of course, it's the 8th day, so it doesn't necessarily add up to be week 1. Week 1 you come one. But I hope you're doing well wherever you are in Uganda. And to in election season kati mulabi abantu baprintize poster wekitegeera, but make the right decision wherever you are. Weka wempe kati bali mu replacing Segirinyi. I don't know why they are replacing him when we have literally months to vote for new MPs, but they have to do it. And I hope you're doing well. We have some news here that is happening. Jump. If you're feeling good. Muyembe na Kapiripiriti Road. It's a road that runs from Mbale that goes all the way to Moroto. Yeah, so it links the eastern part of the country to Karamoja and that road. So it has been it's about 95 kilometers. It was slated to end in 2023, but it's not ending. So the employees put down their tools until you guys pay us. So it's a very long road. 95 kilometers is a lot. It's like literally half of Kampala to Masaka, and that's a very long. So the road should have ended in 2023, but it hasn't ended. And of course, Uganda National Roads Authority, which is also being closed down, has not yet come out to say anything. But it's that is happening, and in Uganda it happens a lot. It's one of the reasons why personally I gave up on trying to bid for any of the government projects. I have heard, I cannot prove, but I have heard that when you bid for a government project, the person that is going to do the job, and that's normally why we have delays in the projects. That's why we have poor quality projects. And now the employees on 4th, of course, they laid down their tools. You guys have taken a long time without paying us, which is a very bad thing. I find that someone should not really enter the construction business if they don't have a lot of capital. In Uganda, you need 2 capitals. First capital is first level of capital is the amount of money that you need to do the project, whether you're paid or not, as long as you have signed the contract and they say we are going to pay you. The second line of capital that you need is the line of the capital that will help you go to court. Because and if you don't have that level of capital, then I would recommend you don't enter contracting. But when you go into government projects, sometimes people have gone broke because they demanded. But of course, I wish them luck. It's a Turkish company. It's a Turkish company called Polat Yoriapi Sanai. The name is too long. The name is too long. But of course, they have funding challenges, and I find that banabazungu bobadavikai sente bwezitajja tebakora. Like you say, we are supposed to give you a first installment before the project begins. They get, and then they say you'll do the work up to this level, then we give you another installment. And then if that installment does not come, ojabasanga for them they don't do favor. Na Uganda mutetenkanya ne muyiya ne mukola amajani, but these Turkish guys oyinza basanga bote bakola katika installment ezijenga bwezina kujja. But I wish the company luck, and of course even the employees that are demanding money. I'm praying for you so that your money comes in. And then of course, you guys, you know what human trafficking is. It's a very big offense. It's too big to the extent that if you have a maid in your home, your maid can actually accuse you of human trafficking. Child trafficking is also a very bad thing. It's a very big crime. And there is a Costa here that was that has like they are implicating the Costa owner in being part of a human trafficking ring. So what happens is a woman hired a Costa and she kept going around ikawala ngaronda abantu abagamba tugenda bawa basari. Of course, these are scams that are being taken around. Yesterday I inspected a Mercedes Benz, and then apparently people kept sending me these videos that I'll talk about later on. But the people are doing businesses that we don't know. businesses that don't really add up. Kati oli asuubiza abantu basare, and then they collect small money from them, like 100k, mulete 100k membership, mulete emitwalo ebiri ja form, mulete zino za ID, and they do that all the time, and they end up like they can collect these things from like 200 people and they give like 5 people bursaries. Nenga yisente zafunye nyingi ochitegera, they do this. So there is a lady that was hiring a Costa. The Costa number plate is UAW850A. And the driver is called Alex Muwanika. You get. So they started getting people from places like Kazinga, Chebando, Nansana, Nibagenda Kekawala. They are collecting. Bagenda Balonda, Tugenda Kuwa Banda Bamwe Basari, Tugenda Kuwa Bantu Bamwe Basari. So they took the Costa and of course the people that are suspected to be in that ring. But sometimes, human trafficking is a very delicate thing. Someone can disappear from their home, they come live at your home, and because they have been away from whoever expects them to be there, so you need to be very careful the people you bring close to you. You need to be very careful. Like if you bring a maid to your home and she's below 18 years old and she doesn't have consent from her parents, you can be accused of child trafficking, even if that person is more than 18 years. Ngewabu yadduka yobudusi akaba bukabi ne bagamba you're doing human trafficking. So you need to be very careful. Now, that's a very big offense. So if that someone is 18 years old, you need to make them sign contracts, which take it and give them. Personally, we are trying to do minimum wage for our maids at home. Why? Because I don't want them to say, oh, I wasted a year at your home, you did not pay me enough. But we traffic their girls and all that. So try as much as possible to employ girls that are 18 years old, introduce them to your chairpersons in the kucharo, and of course, as you're driving, don't take people you don't know. That person can start making noise in a populated area, never quite over human trafficking. So you need to be very careful. For us that drive cars, we need to be careful because anything can happen. You have heard stories. There is even a priest that said, yatwalako omukazi n'atuuka katale enviiramu awo, omukazi n'avaamu n'akubakirire wankozesezza ekiro kyonna, kati priest nga tayagala kuswala ng'alina okukwata ssente akoleki aziwa omukazi. So the guys that drive cars, you need to be very careful. Even the guys that are doing commercial vehicles, if someone is hiring your truck, taxi or van, ask them what are you going to use it for, and if possible have forms for them to fill so that you don't take the risk of emorokayo ebadde ekola emisango. And if you have that proof, it will be very easy for them to give you back your car. And don't give lifts to people you don't know. And even if you know them, if you don't trust them, don't give them a lift. And then of course you guys already know, I'm sure you have already heard, that the office of the presidency is asking for 10 billion. That's around $2.7 million to buy new vehicles. Munange bagambye emmotoka zaabwe enkadde nti era ziyitiridde okufa. Olaba ffe tugula ommotoka mu 2010 mu bondi n'okavuga emyaka 5 nga tekafa. These guys that are driving zero mileage are saying that, of course now the president does not know that. Kati abantu byaleka bye bali mu kubba. Ezimazo kadi bazeguza. Atolooza mbuki bazeguza. So now they are saying now the cars break down. They say akomotoka president ngefudde. Nichine ekyattoyi kyennyini tekifa. But they are saying that emmotoka za president zifa nnyo, but now it's increasing maintenance costs, so they need 10 billion to. So but there is a lady called Immaculate Namara, who is an assistant commissioner in the office of the president. So when she went to present to the committee of presidential affairs, she said that they only get 4 billion shillings, to transport and equipment, but they need an extra 6 billion. You get that. Of course, these are vehicles that transport the president, the vice president, or the prime minister. The prime minister take okuba ina budget akake. Whether it's fair, where they are not trying to rip us off. The office of the president is one office where you don't just go and say, "Oh, spending what you're saying." It's like me in my home. I can spend my money, even my wife's money, how I want. This is I'm your husband. The bow. If you have control, at the president are in a control. Yeah, but of course we wish them luck as they get their 10 billion. Namarado getaga yo, ningudo zetaga yo. Mutulowoze ku bantu baffe. Ngate munagula moroka mpya. Kale president gwe bamugulire empya. Zili eza security ne for president bamwagala. No one can harm him. Ukitegera.
I make a dance, I make a wine. If you feel like getting down, come to me, God.
The northern bypass is being maintained. They are not constructing it or anything, but the maintenance works are taking a toll on us that use the road. They started from Chisasi, the section in Chisasi to Chebando, which was actually done. Now they're in the section that starts from Sentema, the Sentema roundabout, up to the Hoima Road roundabout. Yes, it starts from the Hoima Road roundabout, and it's what they do is they block off one side, and then you guys have to share the 2 lanes that are meant for vehicles that go in one direction. So you share that, and that brings a lot of traffic. Remember, the Northern Bypass is a very busy road, yeah? And of course, they are planning to have all this work done in 6 months. And I had engineers actually say that 6 months is very little, but very efficient. And for the rest of us, we are saying, Rwachi baruao, ye rwachi kubali kwatako, lichali dunji. And there is an engineer that said that it's easier or it's cheaper to maintain a road that is still in good condition than for you to start construction in a road that is actually bad, which in a way makes sense. Maintenance is easier than constructing something that is really fresh. But we are hoping that everything goes very well for them, and that by 6 months they are done. The Northern Bypass serves us very well. The Express it's serving us very well. Some of us use these roads like regularly, and without them we would be suffering. Yeah, like how going through town can be. So kudos for the work they have done so far. I'm happy. Bagenze bongera mu reflectors the guardrails bazongedem, and the roads were very smoother. So I hope that these guys can actually get done in like 4 months and not 6 months like they said. Yeah. So good luck, guys. And then of course winter is bad in Canada and North America. Winter is bad. They are going as low as negative 17 degrees centigrade. You guys, you people here put on sweaters when the weather is like 19 degrees centigrade. Now imagine negative 17. I've been to Bodo in Norway where it was really cold, and I think it was about negative 20, and my hands were hard. Mwarabako mfili Game of Thrones. Hey, Game of Thrones omuntu yanyogoka bakakona kati nekagwako. So it's that cold, and I've seen people that are pleading to the government or the Canadian government to make winter tires a mandate, like a compulsory thing. Those countries in Europe by now winter they have winter tires and summer tires. Now some of us guys that buy cars from Japan zijirako winter tires ebepire byenjole nene. Those tires are winter tires. They are not even off-road tires. They are winter tires. That's why bojivuga mu wano Kampala omusana, because of the heat, the tires get old very fast. Enjura nizigwako mangu. Kati fe mipira fe wano je tuyine ejaffe. They are close to what those guys use for summer. Chovora bajiwangala, they are stronger in the heat, they are stronger on tough roads and all that. But normally we buy the cars in Japan with winter tires. That's why it's important, and they recommend that you change the tires. But it's really bad. And of course now tire centers are making money because kati omuntu asereramu emirundi ebinaka waikagula emipira gya winter. Kitegera kiringa fe wano naye kati fe wano Ugandans bakusooka kukwata mirundi 3 and then olyokotandika okulowooza okugula emipira. Yeah, but of course they are going through winter in Canada. If you're traveling to Canada anytime soon or North America, government for the love of Christ yabagambi. And for you guys that are coming from Canada and North America, we are okay. Jacket is okay yeyo. Here you will not need it so hot. Of course rain is raining as well. Nze tanka zange za days kazinekati. I have half of another takati ugomwezi kweyagana, and I've seen the rain is going to rain again. And then of course there is an auction center in the UK called the Arrow Motor Auctions. It started in 1994 and they closed officially this month. So on January 25th, 22nd, they announced and they did their last sale, and on 31st January they closed after more than tijiba miaka jisuka miaka. They would be making 30. Yeah, actually jibe miaka. Yeah, jisuka mjibe miaka ngasa tumugumu since they started auctioning. So what these guys have been doing, they get vehicles from dealers and people that are selling their cars, they put them up for auction. And they have been doing about 200 vehicles every week. We don't have an auction place here in Uganda. But what they do is something close to what is happening in Japan, where these guys import their cars from. So what they do, they get cars from people that are selling and they put them on auction. When they put them on auction, they then people come and bid and they buy whatever they want, or they buy whatever they can buy. So that is what's happening. And they closed. And their warehouses were also put up on sale. So bazitunda. And of course, in Glenwood, a tourist was killed by a flying rock that came from a truck that was traveling in front of them. The rock went through the windscreen and hit him, and he was badly injured. Of course, they took him to the hospital, but he did not survive. He had a passenger also, who was a lady, a 56-year-old lady, but for her, she survived because ejinja lyakubyono okitegeera. And for them, they are more, they have better emergency services, so they were able to airlift this person to a hospital, a women's hospital, which is called Royal Brisbane. And this has got me thinking. There are so many times when I'm traveling behind lorries here in Uganda, I actually thought chali chili waffe kama Africa and fetu tambula n'amayinja ku lorries, open lorries, but apparently nene wabwe na ubijebidi. So what is happening when you're driving behind a lorry, whether it has logs, wood, sand, you need to be very careful. Give them a distance. So many of you guys have windscreen cracks because a stone came from a truck and it hit your windscreen, and then the crack started moving. Nze bwembeera mabega y'emmotoka ng'etisse ekintu kyonna kabibeera ebintu bya mu nnyumba oba nsenguka, as long as it's not close, I need to give them a distance. And even when it's having charcoal, cattle, you need to give it a distance, because if this guy had given the car his distance, or if you can't give a distance and you have space to overtake and it's safe for you to overtake, please overtake so that you keep yourself safe. And of course, the Chicago Auto Show begins today. Now, Chicago Auto Show is close to the auto shows that we have here at Kololo. People go there and see cars. Now, these ones, they see, it began in 1901, by the way. It's the oldest auto show they have, yeah? And so it's going to run from today to 17th February. And people get to see over 1,000 vehicles on display from various manufacturers. They see new models, old models, and then they even get to drive some of those cars. They get to experience simulations. They get to, these car manufacturers get to tell them what is good about their cars. And of course, some of them can buy. It's huge. I wish we have something as huge as this that could run for days and people come and see. But of course, katife wane waffe ebitusumbwa bikyali bingi. Even when something is good, there is someone evil up there that decides that tebijja kubaawo. Ebiseera mujja musanga ng'alinga mu poliisi, oba alinga mu maje, oba olumali mu ministry, oba olumali mu KCCA. We have evil people around that make sure that these things don't run. But the Chicago Auto Show yetandise. So normally what they do is they also do charities. They have runs, they have appreciation day. They are appreciating the abantu abakola emergency services, and then they also have a career day where they tell people which jobs exist in the car market, and then of course they take beer. That's what they do. So the guys that are in Chicago, you can go and record for us some videos of what is going on starting today. Chicago Bambi, you go and see. As long as you're watching this channel, go and see and record for us. And of course, you guys remember the Nissan merger with Honda. So apparently, Nissan wants to pull out. Why? I think Honda, when like I told you the last time I talked about this thing, when there is a merger between companies, there is always a company that's weak and one that is strong. So apparently I think Honda saw that Bali in a stronger position, so they want Nissan now to be a subsidiary of Honda. And Honda said, so they decided, they said they're still having meetings. And their talks might actually end just there. They might stay talks because Nissan cannot accept to be a subsidiary of Honda. They have special things. Even Honda has special things. Of course, I know that even Honda is suffering in its own way. They are struggling their own way. But Nissan doesn't want to be a subsidiary. And of course, then Mitsubishi, the auto company, still Bakola Pajero, the Bakola L200, they are reducing their profitability. They predict their predictions of profits by 76% because people are not buying cars as much as they used to buy. And when people are not buying as much of your goods, then you predict. You are predict how much do you think you will make. With the lady Justin to taxes and all, but they are predicting that their profits are going to go lower by 76% because people are not buying cars as much as they used to buy. And in today's comparison, I want us to compare the Sienta and the Ractis. Why am I comparing the Sienta and the Ractis? These cars sort of are in the same price range. Locally here, the Ractis is more expensive, a little bit more expensive than the Sienta. But if it weren't for you people saying the Sienta doesn't look very good on the outside, the Sienta would be a winner here. Now, these cars are different. They're made for different purposes. The Sienta is meant to be a multi-purpose vehicle. It has 7 seats. That means it takes 3 passengers, 2 passengers, and 1 passenger in the front. That means it takes 6 passengers, 1 driver. The Toyota Ractis, on the other hand, takes 4 passengers and 1 driver. What are the key differences? These cars will be different in the interior. First of all, the Ractis will give you more space, more headroom because it has a higher roof. And then it will give you more leg room because their seats bagikolanga einakulira. It will give you a sort of SUV feel when you sit in it. The Sienta will, on the other hand, give you the sliding doors which make accessibility to the seats much easier. It will also give you a rear door which makes accessibility to the extra 2 seats very, very easy. And basically it's much more friendly. But of course Ugandans are very lazy people. They want to use a lot of energy on things that don't need energy. So sliding doors bazita, then nekana akajike mabega nako bakakona olumu ne kalabika na bubi. Now, what car should you buy in terms of performance? The Ractis comes with the 1 liter, 1.3 liter, and the 1.5 liter. I've told you guys avoid the 1.3 liter Ractis. Now, the 1.3 liter Ractis will give you better fuel efficiency, but it will not live long. It will not last. The 1.5 liter will almost give you the same fuel efficiency as the Sienta. But what happens here? These cars should buy the 1.5 liter of all the versions. They should be able to give you between 10 to 17 kilometers per liter mixed driving, depending on where you're driving. However, the Sienta might give you better mileage because of the difference in the gearboxes. Now, the Sienta will probably be heavier because it has extra seats and the body sort of looks bigger. However, the Ractis normally has given people bad fuel mileage because most people that buy the Ractis put bigger tires. Because the stock tires that come with the Ractis are very expensive. Yet the Sienta guys normally get the Sienta with the 14-inch rims, which means their tires can be cheaper, so they can even put the stock tires, which together. Now, what would I buy? The Sienta sort of looks like it's a family car. It's actually not a family car. First of all, the 2 seats in the behind are meant for kids. Butono nyo. And also even for kids, they're not very comfortable. So driving that car for long distances with people behind is not very comfortable. Nobody will really like it. So if you want to buy a family car, I would actually recommend you buy the Wish or the Noah instead, or the Isis instead of the Sienta. The Sienta is meant for city driving, not for up-country trips. But you guys obviously drive it for up-country trips, yeah? Now, the Ractis is meant for smaller families or for couples that drive, of course, in city movements. The Sienta gearbox and the Ractis gearbox are quite different because the Ractis will give you more power. Hence, the Ractis is better when you're driving up country. Now, it doesn't mean the Sienta won't go up country, but it's weak for the up country trips. That's why you'll find that abantu Sienta more than what the Ractis can do. Now, what should you buy? If you have kids and you want to drop them to school, if you're doing school shuttle, the Sienta will definitely work for you because it gives you more space. If you want a car that will give you a mixture of performance, expanded legroom and headroom, then buy yourself a Ractis because it will give you even the feel of the SUV. Like I said, don't raise your car by buying bigger tires. Use spacers and bigger springs. And this week's cut tip of the week is buy yourself the book Akakataba Kalimu, the Traffic and Road Safety Act. Learn the traffic rules. Understand how the road works. Understand when a traffic officer can arrest you, when a traffic officer can fine you, when they cannot. In Uganda, I think Uganda and Africa, Africa is the source of evil. Like Stani and like Avamu Africa. Because of the things that we see happening from our leaders, from members of parliament, from RDCs, from police. These guys are too evil. Some of them. Why am I telling you to make sure that you know the Traffic and Road Safety Act and road rules or the traffic rules? Is because the traffic officers are constantly standing on the road waiting for a chance to rob you. They have become highway robbers. Yiga amateeka g'ekkubo. Baagala kukubba.
Arthur nayo point eyo yennyini banzibye mu ngeri bwetyo naye ate nange kyennyini ekyo ky'ogamba nayisemu ako ka freeway but at the same time traffic lights zabadde zikyatambula zabadde zikyali ku green nabadde ntuuka awo wennyini mu kazebra crossing mpete njoyininge ngende aba boda gye bavudde ku speed mubamanyi bwe bavuga nempozinga bayitewo bwe bamaze oyitawo nga ndawo oluguudo luli kiriya neŋŋenda omukazi nanyimiriza naŋŋamba oyise mu bitaala naye nga amazima matuufu ne bwe byandibadde bitaala nabadde nayiseewo dda nga tebinnakwata okitegeera nentuukaawo omukazi nemugamba ekyamazima siise mu bitaala nagamba so you calling me stupid nze ndi musiru kale ndi musiru nagamba mpa pamiti yo nemuwa pamiti nampa ekipapula. I was so mad. Nabadde munyiivu nnyo olaba ekyo kyogambye nti nno abantu abamu bakola ebintu nga tebamanyi nti nno biri baddira ne biddira ku baana baabwe. That's what I said exactly. What I did, nagenze nenkisasulirawo there and then. Nebije nabadde ngenda nabivuddeko nengenda wali ku ham nensasula ekipapula ekyo nempandiikako my prayer nemuleetera kwa receipt nemugamba kati ziyo ofunyeemu ki ompadde ekipapula ekitali fair naye nkusabira kino kyokoze abaana the fruits of your womb will pay for this. Bananga was so mad. I had a very bad day. Omukazi nanyongerako naye bannanga aba traffic awo babba n'omulala yanzibira nakawaawo nga ova Jinja Road nga ogenda ku luno oluguudo awo kugundi bagiyita batya eyo ngoddanga ku Capital Shoppers. Is it Capital Shoppers? Ngodda ku Mobs nga mbranching actually yali nga yayita n'emmotoka olwagira nazitopinga naye ng'olwedde nze nazedda naŋŋamba oyise mu bitaala nampa receipt ogusajja nagwo gwali awo baali babiri. I'm not saying that all, but most of them are thieves. Ate munnange you have nothing to say. Gwe toyina kwogera yiwaddemba okuwa ekipapula kyonna kyayagala toyinza kigaana ye alina obuyinza. It's not like back in the days when webasainingiranga kati oli omufaananira bubi just agamba gwe nkwadde ekipapula oli n'omufaananira bubi n'agamba gwe nina okuwa ekipapula nakikuwa. Aba traffic abo especially that lady nalabe nga afaananira ddala real Satan devil. It's bad to say that, but nalabye nga kyekyo kyennyini namugambye abaana b'abaana bo bonna baliva mu wumbu yo balisasulira ekintu kino. Mulaba abantu ababonaabona ku nguudo temumanyi lwaki babonaabona. But because of that I was looking for money. I need to take some kids to school.
Go to any bookshop and buy the Traffic and Road Safety Act and learn it. Learn mwabagenzeeko ebo mumanya amateeka bwe gakola. Mulikirawo gaba enguzi. Once you learn the Traffic and Road Safety Act ogenda kuba tolina gaba nguzi. So the tip of the week is learn and stop giving out bribes. These guys are becoming robbers, men and women, and their bosses know, and they are not doing anything about it because probably even the bosses are robbers. Learn the Traffic and Road Safety Act, and I think they know that tetwagala yingira makomera because amakomera gali mu mbeera mbi. I'm telling you, Africa seems to be the place where all evil comes from. Like, I'm actually thinking amakomera, the state of prisons and jails is not even being improved because they want us to still fear going there, because bachimanyi bonna ogenda eyo ojja kutya okubeerayo, and they also know we cannot, even the legal system is also a mess. They know we are scared, so they take advantage of that. They make you panic and they rob you. And guys, genda ogule the Traffic and Road Safety Act, read it. And you guys that have godfathers begamba nogu, get their numbers on speed dial. Omusikale bwayagala okubba kube namba ya gamba nogu, balekerawo okubba. And whenever you can expose evil, expose it. But first step is go and familiarize yourself with the Traffic and Road Safety Act, learn the traffic rules so that you are not ripped off. Nze naganyo gabenguzi yesterday, I mentioned that in a TikTok video. I'm also going to mention that later on in a video in the YouTube live broadcast at 5:20 p.m. Go and learn the Traffic and Road Safety Act, master the traffic rules, and don't accept to be ripped off. Look them in the eyes and tell them, Afande, I've not broken a rule. Bwaba kuwa chipapula chikwate, chitwale with pride. Instead of giving them money unfairly okutuba nze, I told them mpe chipapula. I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Then I'm going to pay chipapula because I know I hadn't done wrong. I will not give you money ngoli mukunzi babubbi. I'd rather give it to the government. Let's start doing this now. Why are we doing this? We're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for our kids and grandkids. Otegede. Learn the Traffic and Road Safety Act. Master the traffic rules.
You want me, make you want me, make you want me. I'll make you smile.
Thank you for being part of this weekly roundup, guys. I hope it has been a good couple of minutes of you watching what is happening in the world. I wish you a very lovely weekend. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you in the next weekly roundup and of course in the live broadcasts that are coming